So how did the 2020 endorsement come about? Well, let's ask the organization's president, Mick McHale, and former NYPD Commissioner Bernie Kerik. They both join us live. Gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, here is the headline today. It says major police lobbying group endorses Trump's re-election bid despite backing Obama-Biden ticket in 2012. Mick, how did that come about?
Well, we organized a virtual meeting today of our entire organization for the sole purpose of the presidential endorsement. This is following our bylaws that we've traditionally utilized since our inception in 1978. As a result of today's meeting of our groups, a nomination was made and seconded. There was discussion, and our bylaws call for 2/3 of the body to endorse a specific candidate, and President Trump earned that endorsement with a greater margin of the 2/3 that participated in today's meeting. So it's with great pride that I announce on behalf of our National Association of Police Organizations our endorsement of President Donald J. Trump.
All right. Now, Bernie, as a lifelong law enforcement guy yourself, this president has talked about the fact that he's going to portray himself as a law and order candidate. He said that's what he's about, this unrest, these attacks on the police, all of that. It's going to be a big part of his campaign agenda and the message. How much do you think this endorsement could mean for him?
I think it's enormous, and I think it's only the beginning. You have to realize, Shannon, there's 800 to 900,000 local, state, and federal police officers, law enforcement officers in this country. And if they're watching the news, if they're watching what's going on a daily basis around the country, whether it's Atlanta, New York City, Baltimore, Portland, Seattle, the Democrats are completely anti-police, anti-law enforcement. If that's the case, there's only one vote you need, and that's for this president who has consistently, since he's gone in office, consistently been a super pro-law and order president. So I think this NAPO is only the beginning of what's to come for the president and his campaign.
I want to ask you both to weigh in quickly on the idea that the president's going to make an announcement next week about potentially the feds getting involved in cities where he says local leaders are not getting things done. Some police say that they're being really one hand tied behind their back trying to do their job. And you know, some of those Democratic leaders pushing back, which we're going to talk about more later, saying we don't want the feds here. Mick, what do you think about this announcement we may be getting from the president?
Well, I think the announcement, we're excited to hear what the plan is moving forward. As was stated by the gentleman with me, the president, one of his first orders upon taking office was executing an executive order which gave us the opportunity to secure supplies, surplus supplies from the military. And you see some of the elected officials on a continuous basis, including the vice president, describe those as attack vehicles. They are rescue vehicles. There are thousands of cases throughout our nation where those vehicles and the protective equipment have been utilized not only to protect the police, but more importantly, to protect the public we serve. So we're excited in anticipation of the president's announcement, and he has shown time and time again by supporting legislation to include the permanent restoration of funding for the 9/11 Act. That is the funding for the families of those who suffered tragedy on that horrific date, and the first responders who continue as we speak tonight to pay with their lives as a result of their heroic actions. So the president has continually supported legislation to include mental health, Wellness Act, things like that, and we anticipate and hopefully have
Bernie,
another 4 years.
Bring it, Bernie, quick final word to you.
Listen, the president's going to do everything in his power, and I think a lot of this is going to have to do with putting the ATF, the FBI, the DEA, and the Marshal Service in these communities start taking out the gangs, start taking out the guns, and cleaning up the community so that people can live there safely, which is what the Democrats are not doing.
All right, Bernie and Mick, thank you both. Great to see you both tonight.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the opportunity.